Muay Thai clinch, gonna get needed a Muay Thai clinch, gonna expertise in a Muay Thai, yeah, better get sweep in a Muay Thai, needed a clinch, holding a
My
Look
man.
at my background, bro. How you
Dude, that's
doing?
dope. That is
Is that
dope.
mine? Is that
That's you.
yours?
That's you.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to have that on. I don't know what's going on with that.
I like it.
Okay, we'll run with it. I don't know where it came from.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. How you doing?
I'm all right, bro. How are you doing?
Good. Buzzing, obviously, man. It's I think my first message to you was just coming up on 2 years ago. And what been, obviously following like a hawk, and then in turn being able to be a part of the Canadian Road to One Championship has been a dream, man. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, bro. Sorry, man. Things have been busy. I'm glad to be able to find some time to jump on your show and let's talk Canadian Muay Thai, bro. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it. We've Muay Thai World Cup is pretty sweet. I hopped on a red-eye flight to make it out to the semifinals. That was when Jake was fighting. Taylor was in that and Cody was in that as well. So to be right there ringside filming, and then being able to chat with them after, man. And now here we are seeing them perform in one championship the way they have. I mean, Cody had a tough debut against Luke, that really tough debut for that top rank opponent. But I'm expecting all the best from that guy moving forward, man, and everyone else that's been there.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough first assignment for
Hmm.
him to come in and get Luke Lisi, who has been kind of refining his craft inside, the big shows. And he just ran into a hot Luke Lisi, and I'm sure he's going to turn it around, learn some good lessons, and then come back. And it's those little gloves, man. It's a different game, and it takes a lot of time to understand it. And I know he did well on the Road to One Canada series in the tournament, but it's just when you come to the big show, man, it's that step up. So I'm looking forward to seeing him return.
We've seen that with everyone. We could look at Alex Roberts making his debut against Roman Quicklea. That's a perfect thing. And he said, the little gloves I got caught. That's I've been in there with the best, and obviously WBC heavyweight world champion. But the small gloves make all the difference, and we're looking at adding more small gloves fights in the future to the promotion
Okay.
too. So it's
Okay.
yeah, man, yeah, it's booming because of you guys out there, man. It's been great.
Cool, bro.
It's I like I said too in the email, man. It's we're literally at a time where one is the Wonka golden ticket right now in for the world. It's creating that much buzz. Hearing these different tournaments all over the world with Hitman Fight League with Liam's promotion there. I know that Warriors Cup, I believe they do the show in the USA. I think. Um, so it's cool to see everyone come together, man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of new talent. I
Oh,
think we're
and
gonna see a
one
lot
we
of new
have been
fighters
with
come.
you guys got it's one Friday Fights 100 coming up. That was brand new when I started watching, man. Honestly, that was my first fight that I ever watched in Muay Thai, Mitch, was Regan Ursel versus Sinsima 2.
Okay. Okay. So you're new to the art of eight limbs. You're more of an MMA guy?
Very, very new. I grew up boxing guy.
Okay.
Um, Lost the love for, almost everything in life until about 20. It was the night of Dominic Reyes and John Jones fighting in UFC. That clicked. But Muay Thai, it took a while. It wasn't until down the line where I woke up 7 a.m. with some back pain. There's a post injury. I'm skipping a lot. I'm droning on. I'm sorry about that. But
No worries.
I turn on the TV and yeah, Tagir Kalilov was actually the fight that I turned on and watched. That was the very first fight, and I'm watching Olivier Coste ref, and he's going Cho, and I'm like, what? How are we not getting up and ranting and raving about this? And here we are. That's the beginning. That was the very beginning.
All right. Okay. That's cool to be a part of that. That's fun. I like that.
Regan was gracious enough to be the first interview, and yeah, man, it's Friday mornings, it's a ritual, my man. And you've been such a part of that with that first message, watching you and Ray and how you guys work together and Rich and everyone on the team there. I really want to thank you from the bottom, Mitch. Honestly, you specifically have been a key component in where I've wanted to be and grow with the sport too.
Oh, my man, I appreciate that. That's those comments and having you say that, make it worthwhile, because I often lose touch, of how big this show is getting, because the grind, right? Like it's just week after week, I do 40, 50 shows a year. And so it's just a wild pace that I put. And so I kind of lose that perspective that it means so much to people. So to have you say that, Taylor, means the absolute world to me. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. You guys keep grinding away, and we'll keep doing everything we can on our side. Mitch, it's gone so far as that I've been able to bring Muay Thai World Cup to my home city of Winnipeg, and I've been able to become the promoter for that show. That's how far it's gone. That
Wow.
that's what's happened, man. And my goal,
Congratulations.
thank you, and my goal is to have and Kieran is the head of this on our side. We'll hopefully have a Road to One tournament in my city here. So I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing.
All right, Winnipeg, let's go.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So I mean, aside from, because Taylor McClatchy, she's taken a step back from one and now she's fighting in Muay Thai World Cup, this next show here. I don't know if you heard. Yeah.
I saw that on their Instagram. So I was a little surprised. I'm excited for her to stay active.
Hmm.
Dude, she was one of, I mean, I love DeBella. DeBella's my guy. Jake Peacock is, won my heart. That guy is just an absolute sweetheart and a beast. And I know you guys got a lot of Canadian superstars coming, but man, McClatchy, dude, that girl shocked me to my soul. She came out and she weathered that first round and she brought the fire in 2 and 3. And she, like I said on the commentary, she might not have won the fight, but she won the stadium and she won a lot of fans. And that was an exciting fight.
Dude, Crew Jeff Harrison is one of the top guys in Canada. He has a lot of champions under his belt in Ottawa there. And Taylor's just one of them. But I did an interview with him while he was in Thailand, I believe, right prior to that fight. And he was saying, she's just a different animal, and seeing her get, she got cut in the fight at the semifinals at Muay Thai World Cup, and just seeing that animal come out of her in one again, to see that happen, I'm yelling at 8 a.m. in my house, it's hilarious. It's
She
been
put on a
great,
fun
man.
fight.
Yeah, man.
Diachkov is a beast too, man.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that. I was worried. I was worried about her. I was like, okay, but she brought it. So that was a good debut for her, and it was a lot of fun to call.
It was her toughest test to date. I believe you guys said that on the TV there as well, but hands down, toughest test to date, and she showed up for it, man. Um, I was able to meet John DeBella actually in Montreal a few months ago at a kickboxing event, and
Okay, classy
him and his
guy.
classy guy, of course, his father as well. His father reminds me of a mob boss in the best way, like just he will make the things happen, and he's quiet on the back. Like that's what his dad reminds me of, and the sweetest guy.
Dude, Angelo, Jonathan, like the mom, like the whole family is just a bunch of sweethearts, but they are definitely the DeBella mob. Like they have mafia ties. Shh, I don't know what it's about, but man, those guys, they're great fun. I love Team DeBella.
Dude, when two heavyweights get in between you and they're smashing it out when you're trying to interview them, you're smile like just loving it. I know you obvious like, martial combat former champion here. You've done your due diligence fighting. But when you got two of those big guys in front, like your smile that was top moment aside from Frank getting the bonus for me of the year.
That was good too. That was
Yeah.
good too. Yeah, I don't know what it is with me and the heavyweights. I really think it's Anatoly. I
Yeah.
bring out the best in that guy, and he just always brings the fire, whether it's Ali Akbari or it's Rug or whoever I'm getting in between with him. It's definitely I should be a little bit more tentative with those situations, but it's just part of the game, man.
It is. It is, dude. It is. Um, can you speak to, I mean, like, you're obviously strong heading commentary, you're at almost every single show. You're you have been there since, one fighting championship, what has it been like to see this?
I got choked out on 1-1.
1-1. Yeah.
September 2011. Eric Kelly
Wow.
put me to sleep.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
So to be where it's at now, where you guys are the place, like what has that been like? I know it's hard to sum up simply, aside from overwhelming and busy, but from your perspective, man, how has that been for Mitch?
There's been some moments that really stand out, and there's been some like shows and some experiences that just are unmatched, like as far as personal moments for me. And it's really, like I said kind of before, is I lose that perspective. I lose that, you know, understanding of what it means for so many people to be part of this. Because to me, dude, whether it was my first show calling a fight back in martial combat in 2010, that's when I first started calling fights, to, calling, the Denver show where we're surrounded by, 20,000 people in Colorado, or, these monumental shows that it's really, for lack of a better word, it's awe-inspiring to think about, dude, I'm just a personal trainer from Seattle, Washington. That's what I am. It's what I've always been. And I just used, martial arts to test myself and to really become a better person and a better version of myself. Ever since I was 6 years old, that's what I've used martial arts for. And now 40 years later, I'm sitting here, the voice of the largest sports, organization, martial arts organization in the world. It's wild to me to think that I've been put in this situation, and I'm so grateful. And every show, regardless of how tired I am, or massive migraine headaches, or the pain that my body's in from the training, or whatever it was, that there's every single show, there's a point where I go, dude, gratitude fills my heart. Like it overwhelms me. And I don't know if you can see it in my excitement levels, but I try to give 100% to every single fight, because I know what it meant for me to hear commentary when I first started fighting, and it means a lot for somebody to tell my story when I was fighting, whether it was Boss Rutan or Steve Dawson or Jason Chambers or whoever it was commentating me, Henzo Gracie.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It means the world for me to be able to be put in this situation and to be able to bring it to fans, in Canada, fans in Africa, fans,
Mhm.
In Denmark, like the people that tell me these things. It's really astonishing, and it really touches my heart, and it makes me try even more. I spend even more time in research. I do even more athlete interviews. I study even more with these guys. I travel to go to their gyms so I can learn from them. And like in Denver, it really hit home last year because I hosted the press conference in Denver.
Mhm.
And you got to come out to the US show this year. You got to
I
find a
have.
way to get here, bro, because like
I'll be there. I'll
you
be
know when
there.
you started social media, and they say and you only get like 50 likes or 100 likes on a post that you spent so much time on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like one of your friends goes, "Well, Taylor, imagine if 50 or 100 people were in a room telling you how much they like your stuff." Right? That would be overwhelming, wouldn't it?
It would.
And that happened to me in Denver. There was about 100 people in the foyer of the convention center. And every single person came up to me, like 100 people. And they were like, dude, your show is the reason why I get excited on Friday morning. It's not because the weekend's coming. It's because One Friday Fights is going to be on at 7 a.m. And I can't wait to wake up and watch Mitch Chilson call some fights. It means the world to me. And I'm just like, I was crying. I got tears were coming down my eyes, because of people's admiration and enthusiasm for this property that, Chatri has been able to create. It's truly been a remarkable journey. And when I go to experiences like that that's when it really touches home.
That's beautiful, man. That's absolutely beautiful. I was in Toronto with my brother. I just moved to Toronto and we were watching it actually together, that Denver show. I'll never forget it. 'Cause it was the first time I've seen my brother in a long time. And dude, it was funny because I actually was trying to get down to the US show for the Atlanta one there. Obviously there were some issues, but it is something when you see that in person and you do get that reception, especially the reception that everybody got, all the athletes got in Denver. It was beautiful to see the cheers for Rod Tang and um, everyone else that was fighting there. Sorry, I'm blanking, but it was truly magnificent, man. 172, my friend. Fire, blazing hot. I think I'm lagging a little bit on there. Let me know if I'm coming out clear. Can you still hear me okay?
Sounds fine. The
Oh,
sound is
perfect.
fine.
Perfect. Um, yeah, so 172. Nabil Anon became my favorite fighter last year.
I think a lot of people share those sentiments, man. What a performance, you know, and he's discovering his power, right? Granted, he's super young, right? It doesn't like even it boggles my mind to think that this kid is the age that he is at just 20 years old. I don't know if he's 21 now. I think he's still 20, but man, at 6'4", 140 pounds, a Taekwondo black belt, a karate black belt, a two-time WBC Muay Thai champion, two divisions. This guy is terrifying. He's like a super villain that's been possessed with just mutant powers, and he's coming to take over Muay Thai, man. But he's running into Superlek. That fight is going to be so intriguing, and I'm really really excited about this whole show. This whole show.
Yeah, the entire this I've seen people say like this is the card of cards for and it's funny because it keeps getting like that, which is beautiful and once you realize you just keep topping yourself because the UFC has gotten to that point where oh it's this is the best card of all time. It's like we are continuing to put out the best cards on top of each other and new matchups keep happening because of that. Like this is who would have thought last year on Friday Fights that Nabil would be in where he's at right now. With I think it was about 5 fights that got him. I think about 5 times last year, something like that. He was quite active.
Yeah,
Um,
very.
to superstar
Very.
status. Superstar status.
He ran through like he got introduced to Superlek. I'll tell you who would have thought it. Mehdi Zatut.
Hmm.
Mehdi Zatut called like I remember when I showed up, I went to Venom's training center in it must have been like right after the pandemic, 2022 or something like that. And I'm there and we're just about to start Friday Fights. And I'm like, oh no, I got to do a weekly show in Thailand. This is going to be crazy. I can't wait to see what happens. And I went around to all the most of the gyms in Thailand, the big ones. And I was talking to Mehdi, and Mehdi was like, you got to come meet this Anand family because they come like in a group to the training, to the practices for Nabil and his brother. And the dad is just as tall. The dad's like 6'6", just a beast in his own right. And the Mehdi was like, "This is the next superstar and won championship." And I shook his hand. He must have been like 18 or 18 years old at the time, maybe 17 years old. And I was like, "Okay." He was a giant. He just towered over me. And now look at him. This kid is special. And I think he's still got weight classes to go.
Hmm.
So he'll probably fill out, when he's like 24, 25 years old around lightweight.
Yeah.
And, maybe he's going to give your boy Rehi and Erso some problems at 170. So we'll see. We'll see. But the kid's exciting. The kid's fun. He's entertaining. He looks the part. And he's a class act. He's fun. I like him.
He truly is. I think by that time, within 2 or 3 years, there is going to be another highly talented gentleman signed with you guys by way of USA, by the name of Gary Mack. Have you heard of Mr. Gary Mack, Miss
I
Chilson?
have not heard of the Mac attack. You let me hear more about this guy.
He's the number one super middleweight WBC ranked in the US. He was originally supposed to be fighting on Muay Thai World Cup Road to One Championship, and his opponent pulled out. So the 170 tournament actually got nixed because of a couple of folks that did pull out on this side. So there's currently I believe it's a 135 Road to One happening. That's the next one is in Toronto. I was just at the last one recently, but Gary is he just took a fight in Warriors Cup this past weekend and fought to a draw, questionably draw. Um, but highly skilled, training at a level up gym in Maryland, and he's got some really good power, really good talent, and a perfect regimen right now. His mind is ready. I think you guys are going to see him in the next 2 years easily.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
man,
keep my eyes open.
100%. This Beyond the Ring, is this a new podcast that you're going to be doing regularly?
I have been doing this podcast since 2018.
Okay,
I
my apologies.
No, I've done it like off and on. Like there was a huge break. But I've been playing with media or like making videos since 2008. Like I started my YouTube thing back then, and it's just been a love or hate relationship with it. I love doing it, you know. I've got a couple in the chamber that are ready to go. It
Nice.
just takes, as you well know, it takes a gigantic time commitment to do all of this stuff, right? You got to book your own guests, you got to edit, you got to, then you got to do the research that's involved with getting to know your guests. I've got I've got some stuff done with Brian Popejoy. I've got one done with John Wayne Parr.
Nice.
I've got a bunch of stuff that's just in my box to do box, and I just got to get time to it. I hope to continue doing it because I get access to people that, you know, it's hard to match, and I've created some really fun relationships, and I really want to get that out there and to continue doing that. That was Beyond the Ring was something my wife came up with.
Oh, nice.
I think it was just for that episode. It might change again. It's been called Fight Shape Radio before. It's been
Oh,
called the
okay,
Mitch
okay.
Chilson Show before. I just enjoy making videos,
Yeah.
and it's just fun for me to do it. And I'll keep them coming. Did you like that one with Shane? That was a cool one with
You,
Shane.
you
So,
guys, you guys touched on a lot of good. Like, if anyone's watching this right now, well, when I upload it right now, go watch, stop now and go watch that because there's a lot of gems, a lot of gems that are needed to hear about this topic right here of posting and uploading and making it and being afraid and diving into that of being afraid and not uploading. That can just translate into regular life about doing anything. So, that's one of the main things, whether it be training, whether it be fighting, whatever it may be, opening up a gym, putting up that content of your technique and being afraid of the criticism. Just fucking do it. So it was great. It was a good chat.
cool. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, man. So one, I'm trying to think of because I Rock is one of my newest favorites from the Friday Fight Show. I'm excited. Is he fighting at 172 as well?
Oh, Rock Earl won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when he's fighting soon. I know he just had a couple of fights recently. He's had a rough go the
Hmm.
past couple of fights. I think he's just been matched up against the top dudes.
Just
Um,
smashes though. Like no, like just does not quit. The Jaisu in him is just unrelenting, man.
yeah, man, there's a lot of special people, guys that, have devoted their entire life to this craft and hundreds of fights and, for such little money. And now they're cashing checks, man. Like these guys are seriously like when us as Westerners, we hear about this money. And I mean, what do a lot of Americans do once they start making it big in their sport? They start going out and they start buying jewelry and watches and cars and, they start flashing cash. And these guys, and it really puts things into perspective for me. These guys will buy their parents a house.
Mhm.
They'll donate money to their temples. They will build community centers in their neighborhoods. They will feed entire villages. And it's so heartwarming to see things like this still exist in this world that we have today. And it's so inspiring to hear some of these stories and the way that, one championship has literally changed not just their lives, but generations of their lives to come. It's such a beautiful thing to watch. And it really is what the martial arts are supposed to be about. And it's what we learned as kids inside our dojos, getting yelled at by our senseis and our, sifus and our crews. And, this type of stuff that we're seeing here in Thailand it's really, really fascinating to watch. And the culture here, I liked it so much I moved here. I live here in Bangkok now, and I've been here for about 2 years. I'm trying to learn the language. I'm trying to learn the culture, because I feel like I am the conduit for people like you in the Western world that sit there on a Friday morning
100%.
and get to watch the fights, or Saturday, night, or whatever the case may be. I'm the guy that translates what you're seeing, what these guys go through. And that's part of the reason why I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I have.
I think I've cried more times watching you give the bonus than fucking movies, man, honestly. Like there's times where you just and it's the best when they don't if they truly don't understand a lick of English and then Frank hits them with it. Oh my goodness. It is something else. I've spoken with Tagir Kalilov and he lives in Yekaterinburg, Russia. And he has his gym, Saming Pre Muay Thai. And same thing, dumping his money from that into the gyms, creating more athletes there. Like it's touching every corner of the world, which is awesome. And regardless of what's going on with Russia right now, regardless of what's going on anywhere, it does not, there's no politics involved with Muay Thai. It's just this is the sport. Here's the opportunity. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
man.
the Russians, man, these are a scary group of people. Like they're different. There's something like the Dagestani fighters, these fighters from Moscow. They are terrifying. They are
Mhm.
so talented. And then they spent so much time working on their craft in like these amateur competitions. And so they've got hundreds and hundreds of fights, and they're coming, man. They're coming. And the everybody's got to be ready. Like Cameron Nabati is
Yep. Yep.
that guy, man. That guy is a special talent, and he should have been the one fighting Nabil, but the title fight got an opportunity, it materialized, and Nabil's fighting for a title, knocking out Nico Carrillo, and that's destiny is one thing, fate is another. And it's going to be fun, man. We've got such a great year coming up in 2025. We've got so many more events coming, and there's some big, big things to be announced. Actually, I'm like you. I don't even know any. I find out on Instagram just like you guys do. So, but I'm sure there's big stuff coming. So mark my words. It's going to be a fun year.
And I know you're always the first one because you post it as soon as you get it, it seems. So I'm always like uploading or reloading your page to see if that full card drop is coming out. So
I try. I
yeah,
try
no,
to stay on
thank you for
top.
that. Thank you for that. Where from the US are you? Oh, you said you were from Washington there, Mitch?
Yeah. Originally from Seattle, Washington. Then I moved to San Francisco for a while, and then to Singapore in 2005. I moved to Singapore,
Yeah.
and I was running gyms out there. And then just one thing led to another, and the job just kept getting cooler and cooler. And lo and behold, here I am still.
I know you did train at Tiger Muay Thai for a bit there, yeah?
I've trained in most gyms
Okay.
in
Like
Southeast Asia. Like
what
Evolve was my main gym in Singapore. Like I was there for the longest time.
Mhm,
And then I moved to Malaysia.
mhm.
And then I moved to the Philippines. I was in the Philippines. I had my own gym in the Philippines.
Nice.
Then COVID hit, and we did some remote shows. And then they were like, we need you in Singapore. I moved back to Singapore, was in Singapore for 2 years. And then one Friday fights came calling, bro. And now I've been in Bangkok for two. So yeah, I've trained at Tiger in Phuket. I went down there often. But then I started to find like other gyms there as well. And just there's so many now in Phuket. It's wild. It's
Oh, of
like,
course.
especially along that soy. Have you been?
No, my brother was just there for the amazing Muay Thai festival in Lumpini, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
cool.
I
Yeah, so you gotta go. You gotta go to Phuket and you gotta go to Soi Thai Ed. It's this
okay.
street in Chalong, Thailand, in Phuket. And it's the Tiger Muay Thai started,
Yep.
and then slowly gyms started popping up all along this 1 mile radius. It's
Wow.
like the Las Vegas Strip for MMA, Muay Thai, and CrossFit. It's wild. I've never seen anything like it. And
Perfect.
every cafe you go into, as you walk down the street, you'll see Friday fights everywhere.
Dude,
Like
that's heaven.
it's
That is
constantly on
heaven.
all over the city.
My
It's cool,
brother was
man.
supposed to only be there for a week. I was originally supposed to go, and I had to stay with my dog. Couldn't leave my
Oh,
dog. He got sick. We
oh,
covered the festival in Venice the year before. We were lucky enough actually. I got to meet Sanchai and Yotsanklai in Calgary for the amazing Muay Thai World Festival, their master class they did, which was very
very
fun.
cool.
Of course, you could only imagine how buzzing I was with being this new and then being in front of that greatness within this short a time.
Yeah.
Just maniacal, and was absolutely honored to do that. But my brother was only supposed to be in Thailand for about 2 weeks. And as you can assume, he was there for about 6 months.
It'll get you, man. You get the bug and it's
Yeah.
hard to leave, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it was. I was very proud of him, man, because I saw him still as a little bit of a young punk, and when he showed me that he was doing some classes and getting pads smashed into his stomach at Bang Tao, or working with Puria, one of the striking coaches there, he I was blown away. I was like, good on you, bro. Fine, I don't got to beat you up. I'll just let these guys do it. So
You're
it's
next.
pretty
You
sweet.
come next.
Yeah, I have to. Absolutely have to, man. It's on the list. We're actually hosting our Team Canada tryouts in Winnipeg too. 5 cities to send our Team Canada WBC over to Verona. I'll be there actually doing some interviews and stuff as well. So just trying to build Muay Thai in Canada as much as possible. Um, so we can get guys into one, man. That's our focus.
Best of luck, man. I really hope you guys can tap into some new talent, you know? I think that one is starting the process, but it's like it's grassroots stuff like that, like people that really truly love it and that will bring it to their towns like you're doing, Winnipeg. That's so cool, man.
Thanks,
We
man.
need people like that. And that's kind of why I wanted to make some time for this to talk to you about it, to see what's going on and how you guys are making it happen on the ground, because that's cool, bro. And I'm
Thanks,
really
man.
proud of what you've done and see you grow over the past 2 years too. It's been great to watch.
Thanks, man. It's an honor to be speaking with you right now. It's surreal, but like you said, in the sense of you always gotta, there's always something next, always something next. But during this interview, I took a step back and was like, God damn, like this is pretty damn awesome, man. I mean, it does mean a lot. But enough with that. Our next show, yeah, April 12th, Muay Thai World Cup. Taylor McClatchy will be fighting there. A couple of WBC titles. The show after that will be in Toronto. I think we're going back to our 135-pound Road to One tournament there. And then the show I'm hoping to get fully done will be in June, right before we head to Verona. And then from there, I think we would probably have the final of our Road to One tournament there. We're hoping to do a 147-pound. I'd love to do a 147 tournament, or 155 in between that for that weight, and then a 170. We're dying to do a 170 tournament as well. That that
Do you
that
guys hydrate test?
I don't think we do. I would have to ask Kieran about that. He knows absolutely every little thing about that. But I was surprised. I don't think any of the three of our folks had hydration issues while they were out there.
No, like I'm
No.
curious because they didn't.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that you guys have like at least some understanding of the protocols in place. And that would be cool to see it kind of spread to the Road to One tournaments and to see if people can, if they do bump up. Are you guys like, is 155 like your lightweight, or how do you guys work your weight classes?
No, I think our 170 would be the lightweight, so we're on par with you guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I we're like I think we're like 2 or 3 years out, honestly. Like we have some really good guys right now. There's some solid guys, solid players, but truly world-class top five with other weights, I believe we're about 2 years out from having guys ready for one right now, honestly,
Okay.
on the grand scheme of things. However, from what we saw from our three contenders too, um, Jake did excellent. Like his nutritionist, they're so dialed in with all of that stuff prior to even flying out to Thailand. So I didn't think there would be an issue there.
Cool.
Yeah, man. With everyone that you do your little interviews for your like I love the technique videos. Those are my favorite from you. Um, is it just like post weigh-ins, like when everyone's doing their media, do you just kind of snag someone that's free or do you have it pre-selected before the show?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on what they tell me,
Yeah.
and what they're essentially working on, Sometimes they tell me what they're going to do in the fight, and then I always keep that until later. I've made that mistake before. Like so, but a lot of times it's what they talk to me about and then what I know of them. And then if one posts a cool clip of them doing something or a knockout, that's when it's the coolest. So,
It is.
especially if they've done it, because a lot of people are like, oh, you can't do that. That doesn't work. And then if you watch the video for just a little bit longer, you see that it actually does. But it's usually just right then and there. And
Nice.
it's like, because we do media days.
Mhm.
So we sit down with each one of the fighters and we do interviews. And there's a few times throughout the week where I'm one-on-one with the guys, or I'm, hosting a weigh-ins, or I'm doing an interview with them, or whatever it is. And then I think like Liam Harrison was one of the first guys where I was like, show me this leg kick that you're doing
Yeah.
and let's talk about it. Cause he doesn't turn his hip over like a lot does. He just goes straight up.
Mhm.
And that one was like the first time that it clicked. But for years, I didn't I wanted to act like I was there before, right? They
Yeah. Of
always say, like,
course.
act like you've been here,
Oh yeah.
you're not
I
a newbie, right? So I didn't want to like fanboy out and freak out because I was seeing these guys. So I tried to play it really cool, especially with like big time stars, like DJ and Eddie Alvarez and like these big time stars. I didn't want to be, oh, excuse me, will you shoot a video with me? But then my wife was like, I was trying to figure out videos, and she was like, go kick the bag and just see what happens and show people you can kick. And I was like, okay. I started kicking the bag, and Nung O came over to me one day and was like, that's a terrible kick. Because we were training in the same gym together at Evolve. And he's like, let me show you how it's done. And I was like, okay. I turned on the camera, and one thing led to another. And now it's something that's grown in popularity and really, been kind of my niche, I guess you could call it.
That's awesome. Especially when it's Nong O telling you. The reason I asked you earlier about Tiger is one of the coaches that worked there before, Adrian Sheed, who's the coach of Petch, that fights in Glory there. He opened
Mhm.
up a gym in Vancouver. I actually called him the day he was picking up Petch in the airport to open up their gym. And that was the first gym I ever did a gig with, you could say. And the first class I did was with Jake Peacock and Petch. And fell in love with it, man. And they beat the crap out of me physically. Not they didn't actually even touch me. It was just the workout that Muay Thai gives you was ridiculous. And it never stopped after that. I usually do keep it only at 40 minutes as the limit for Zoom is at that right now. I don't want to keep you too much longer. Was there anything that you wanted to say, aside from, one is I'll watch one and that, but I usually ask the fighters if they have sponsors they want to thank. In your case, I think you're aside from that, it's just the one, but
Oh no, man. I want to thank you, Taylor. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you waking up every Friday morning and watching us do our thing. I appreciate the investment that you're making in growing the sport that I love so much in a land so far away, the Great North, out there in Canada. So I appreciate that. And all your viewers and your listeners and everybody that watches you, thank you for, enjoying what we do, and you guys are the reason why we do it, so just thanks for
awesome.
that.
Mitch, the Dragon signing off. Thank you, guy. Thank you so much, dude. Honestly, have fun and safe travels.